Hey there everyone, it's MisterStubstep, and normally I would say I'm doing a video that nobody asked for, but somebody actually did ask for this video and I thought it was a fantastic idea. If I remember correctly, I think it was Hectares GG. Please let me know if I'm pronouncing that wrong, or you can message me in Discord about how much I messed up. But I read this comment and it was a great comment, and I think this is something worth explaining. Of course, down below I will always have chapters if you want to skip to certain sections, but this is going to be kind of me, going through the apps that I use, kind of like ranting, but just going through my thought process, my decision-making process when it comes to collecting Pokemon cards. Saying that out loud sounds silly because this is just a hobby and it's not that serious, but I do enjoy this and I do take it, seriously when it comes to meeting my goals and everything. So, where do we want to start? So, first off, you have to have goals. I know it's a hobby and you just want to chill, and if that's your goal to just chill, then just chill and buy what you want and, don't spend more than you can handle. But, if you have other goals, for example, my goals when I first came back into the hobby. So, there's quick history of myself. So, opened up in base set, went through, I believe, EX, some like middle of the EX sets. Like I had some EX Sandstorm, EX Deoxys, and all that stuff. It was like in the middle of the EX era that I should just stop collecting altogether. And then I came back in around Evolutions time, then I left again, and then I came back in around Cosmic Eclipse. And pretty much from Cosmic Eclipse all the way through Scarlet and Violet, I've been steadily collecting. So my goals since returning to the hobby were completing all WotC sets from base set all the way to Neo Destiny, not including, like promo sets or like the islands, or dang, I can't remember what the islands were. Whatever, the Orange Islands, Rainbow Islands, Orange Islands maybe. And that was one of my goals. My goal for this year, it was a New Year's resolution. I know, very corny, but it was to complete 10 sets. And of course, I'll probably have a list of the sets that I've completed thus far. And then also kind of an ongoing goal that I have is a Curlia Master set. So, as new Curlia cards come out, I collect those. I'm striving to collect 10s whenever I see them, but it's not a necessity. And yeah, those are my goals. So what you have to do is you have to really sit down, think about what is your goal. Is it to complete this one set? Is it to complete an era? Is it to complete all base sets? Is it to collect all Trainer Gallery cards, all full art cards, all gold cards, all prism cards? Like, you have to sit down and decide what that is. Sometimes it can be something really, short and simple. Like, I want to collect all of, the Bonsly cards. And then there's only one Bonsly and bam, you've completed it. So set those goals. If you have goals, let me know down below, and I'm curious, and let me know where you're at in progress towards those. Next, we talk about what I buy on a monthly basis. I think this was like the core of the question and just how I prioritize, but I'm just going to go through the process that I go through on a monthly basis. So, actually, I think I was supposed to be like doing stuff while I was talking through this. I was getting so passionate. So, for example, if you go to the corner, so this is the Poke Collector app. If you don't have it, it's useful. There's a lot of good collectors apps out there. I'm just pretty deep on this one, so I decided to do this one. But like, for example, my base set, the only thing that's missing is the Wizards of the Coast promos. I'm not going to go deep on those because those are forever. Have all the gym stuff, and then the Neo, the only ones that I'm missing. Southern Islands. I said orange and rainbow. I'm so silly. Southern Islands, and then I'm missing, looks to be 9 cards from Neo Destiny. So there's that. And then, of course, I have the other sets that I'm completing. I'll probably have a pop-up now of the other sets that I'm completing. But on a monthly basis, I will probably buy the booster box, whichever main set's coming out. Now, obviously, booster boxes come out every few months, and then there's special sets and stuff in between because those are just when the main sets come out. But I'll generally get a booster box. Used to get 2 in the Sword and Shield era, but now just 1. I'm kind of lowering my paying or buying sealed products. And then I also try to get ETBs, at least 1 from every set, and now I've just been getting exclusively Pokemon Center ETBs because they just more bang for the buck. I mean, they're more expensive, but they just come with more, and I'm going to start collecting those, and I think they're pretty cool. So I get 2 from each set, 1 to open, 1 to keep sealed. And then if there's any just really nice sealed product, a lot of the premium collections or ultra premium collections, I'm just probably going to buy regardless because they're so fun to open. But if it's just a collection box or sealed product that is just really appealing, for example, the Arceus V figure collection box, that was just a really cool sealed product. Definitely want to get those. And then say the Bolton V box. Sorry, I'm hating on Bolton. I'm sure there's a lot of Bolton fans out there. That one maybe not as desirable. I might just pass on that one, even though I have opened that up on my channel because I was buying everything pretty much last year. And then special sets, I still kind of apply my old practices to special sets. I pretty much get at least 1 of everything when it comes to special sets because I just love opening special sets. And you can't get the booster boxes and stuff, so that's just my way of getting packs. And how I basically figure out what comes out each month. So PC PTCG Radio. He does like monthly videos on like expecting products. Oh, the product release schedule. Oh, I've had a thumbnail or something. But he releases, I think, like daily content, sometimes multiple per day. I'm not like subscribed to him, and I don't watch every single one of his videos, but I do watch, a handful of his videos. His videos are like the ones that I go when I've watched like all of my subscribed videos and I'm still doing chores, then I'll start watching his videos. No slight on him. He has a great channel. It's too much content for me to keep up with. But those monthly videos are great. They kind of keep me on track. I'll probably show a little screenshot of, I have a little just table that I add stuff into, like when a product that I'm interested in, when it comes out, how much it costs, and then how many I'm expecting to get of that product. Have I already ordered some of the product from where, whether it be eBay, Pokemon Center, TCG Player, all that stuff. And then also the Pokemon TCG subreddit. While there's some annoying points and a little bit of, infighting a little bit, that's with all subreddits, to be honest. There is some good stuff posted in there. I know there's like Poke deals or whatever, and I usually use that because people will like drop, when new things have come out. I don't really use it for the deals because by the time I go there, they're already sold out, so I'm not really too concerned about that. But a lot of times on the subreddits, they'll be like, when the new Pokemon Center ETBs have dropped on the website. Like a lot of people are just constantly on those sites, and they'll put a message out to everybody, which is kind of cool. So that's what I do. And then occasionally, of course, I do have some impulse buys. If I'm at Target and getting other things, I might grab a pack or two, that's just a thing. Or maybe a mystery, she might give me something, and of course I'll be forever thankful. So now I've gone over what I buy on a monthly basis. We're just going to go right into set collection or set completion. So first off, you got to pick a set. So do you want it to be modern, or do you want it to be ultra modern? Do you want it to be modern? Do you want it to be super like WotC era, or you want it to be like vintage, or you like some black and white stuff? I would just do some exploring. If you ever see a card that just really catches your eye, maybe look more into that set, and then if you really like that set, you can do that set. But if you do pick a set, make sure you check the prices of that set and availability. For this example, I'm going to be like, you know what? Okay, this is the TCG Player app. If you've never been to TCG Player, that's probably one of the main reasons why my channel has gotten to where it is, because my TCG Player videos. Because I think when I first started making these videos, there wasn't a lot of people talking about TCG Player, but now it's, especially like on the Pokemon side, but now it's a common site that a lot of people use, and people hate, people enjoy. It's, whenever you get big enough, you're going to have haters regardless. So you go to the top left, you click Pokemon, and then you want to scroll down to this price guide. Yes, very wonderful. And the example that I will use is Scarlet and Violet base set, and I always organize from most expensive to least expensive. And it looks like the Merriam is down to 61. Not bad. Special illustration rare. That is not bad at all. So basically, you need to look at the prices of the cards and be like, can I afford this? Now, I want to say red flag, because it's generally a good sign if there's a bunch of cards worth over $100. But if there's a bunch of cards within the set that are worth over $100, I'm like, maybe this set isn't for me. Unless I have like all of those expensive cards already. For example, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to collect all the way through WotC, because when I got my cousin's collection and I discovered he had a Shining Charizard, I was like, well, that's the most expensive card. I guess I can just collect everything else if I have that already. But if I didn't have the Shining Charizard, I probably wouldn't have fully committed to all the WotC sets through Destiny. But that's just an example. Like, for example, here, right now, Scarlet and Violet base is on my maybe list to complete. I have other priorities, but it's on my maybe list because I have the Gyarados. I have the Gardevoir EX special illustration rare. And then what else do I have from the top? I don't even have the Ralts. Dang, the Ralts is $17. That's pretty crazy. And I do have the Curly, of course, and I do have that regular penny. So, I have a few of the good cards, but none of, I don't have the Miriam, of course. But those are just things to take into account. So that's kind of how I decide a set. Or if it's just a set that I really like. If it's a set that I really like, it's easy to complete, I already have the high dollar cards, or just reasonably priced, then those are pretty much the criteria that I go off for sets. Or if they just align with my goals. So for example, let's go to another set that I know is ridiculous. Let's look at Boundaries Cross. Not super old, not super new. And let's look at the prices on the... Okay, so this is not too bad. You got the Skyla and the Bianca. Those are the only ones over 100. But you have to take into account how many cards are over $10, because that will add up very quickly. And then that brings me into my next point. Are these available? Because for a lot of these older sets, like at my LGS, for example, they have a decent amount of X, Y, and on, but once you start getting into the black and white, a lot of that stuff has been trimmed already. Like a lot of people have come and grabbed all the good stuff. So, of course, I will go and still check that, but just be wary of that. The older you go, probably the harder some of the stuff will be to find. I'm going to be honest, a lot of the base set, fossil, jungle, you can easily collect the complete sets of those. I mean, they are so abundant out there. Even Team Rocket, like those first 4 sets, all right, base set 2 is a little bit harder, but you can probably still complete that. It's just bigger than all the other ones. They're so abundant out there, except for maybe like the Charizard hollows and some of the key hollows. Like everything is going to be reasonably priced because they're just so abundant. But yeah, so you also have to decide what condition are you willing to accept. Now, if I'm collecting a modern or like ultra modern stuff, I'm pretty much going to go for near mint at the weakest, like lightly played, unless it's like some random, reverse hollow that I need and it's from the same seller, then I might go down to moderately played because I don't really care too much about that. But yeah, you need to know what condition you're going for. And I have to put this out up front. If you're going for complete sets, just know that that is not where the money is at. I say again, collecting complete sets is not where the money is at. If you look at sold listings of complete sets, or if you are ever selling complete sets, what is the first thing people ask? Well, what's the condition of the Charizard? What's the condition of the most expensive card in the set? Because that's where the most of the money is going to carry the weight. So if you really, truly care about the money, you'll go for the sealed product and you'll go for, the PSA 10s or the black labels of the most expensive cards. That's just the fact. Or like collecting all hollows or just only the expensive cards, because all those bulk commons and uncommons, they're just not really worth the time. But I personally enjoy and love putting together sets, so that is why I do it. That's not where the money is at, though. I just want to put that ahead of time. So the first steps that I do is I go to my LGS, say I want to do, let's go back. Dang, there's so many Pokemon card sets. So say I want to do Scarlet. Gosh dang it, my thumb is so thick. Oh my gosh, there we go. So say I want to do Scarlet and Violet base, which maybe I will do someday because these are reasonably priced and the pull rates aren't that bad. What I'll do is I go to my LGS and I basically will scour every single, I guess now, holo rare and below that I need, and probably a lot of the bulky EXs I'll grab as well, and I'm just going to grab every single one of those that I'm missing. And the best way to do that is if I've already known that I'm going to be trying to complete this set, I'm going to set up a binder for it, and then there are apps where you can say if you have the non-holo and the holo and the reverse holo and all that stuff and be able to differentiate. I just put it all in a binder and then take a bunch of photos because to me that's the easiest way, like visually, just to see what I'm missing. And I go through and I just grab all the cards that I need. And for a lot of sets that I say I've opened up a booster box or two, which is probably the max amount I would recommend opening if you're just trying to complete a set the most cheaply and quickest way possible. If you keep opening product, it becomes it's exponent. No, what is it? It's you're definitely going to get dwindling returns. That's for sure. So yeah, keep that in mind. I go through, I scour, I grab all the bulk that I need. Then after that, I will go to TCG Player and I'll pick some stuff off. So say I need the Miraidon EX. Dang, I really wanted this to be more like interactive on here, but I just keep talking and I don't think I could talk as well as if I was doing other stuff. So I'll find the Miraidon EX. Ooh, yes, that's very beautiful. Dang, there's a lightly played for $37.99. Shoot, I might want to get that. So basically, how I decide what I get is I'm like, ooh, so I have no affiliation in any of these stores. I don't know anything about these stores. I have no bias, preference, anything. This is just me looking at prices and the card that I want. So for something like this, so another thing that I kind of take into account, like, do I really, really like this card and I want it better in condition? This is a really cool card. I actually prefer the Koraidon. So this one, I would actually be fine with getting a lightly played. So let's go down to Galaxy Buster TCG, and they have 25,000 sales. So generally, I will look for stores that have had more sales and have really good ratings, like 100%, for example. Now, if they have like a 98 or 97 with like a bunch of sales, usually, oh, like that's pretty good. But then I would look at some of the reviews because I've shopped at some that looked good on the surface and then they ended up being bad. So just look at the reviews occasionally. But if they have 100%, then even if they've got bad ones, they've probably, worked it out with the customer in a way that they would give them positive. So this is kind of similar to eBay. But so I would click on that to add to the cart, of course, because I need that. And then first thing I do is shop with the seller. Shop with the seller. Oh, they only have 90. So another reason why I go for the stores with a lot of ratings is generally their inventory is much larger, which means you have a higher chance of finding cards that you need for your sets. So because I'm looking for Scarlet and Violet base, of course, I will go down and sort by Scarlet and Violet base, which I only have 6 cards of. But say I'm missing all these cards, I'll compare it to the market price. So basically the market price is the average of what all the cards that have been selling for recently, and then the listing price is what people are actually listing them for to sell. So for example, you could have a market price that's $5, but then the lowest listing is $10. Nobody's buying at $10, but that's the lowest listed. So the market value is still $5, but if somebody buys at that $10, then that market price will go up. You understand? You understand. So yes, say I would need all these cards, I would add them, and ideally you want to try to find as many cards as you can from one seller. So say I do go with the cheapest seller and they have them right on EX, but none of these cards I need. So what I might do is I would actually go back. I would leave Galaxy Buster TCG. Oh, shoot. This is a little bit hard on the phone, but I would look up the card again and basically go to all the listings, and then I would just go down the list to the next person, like 3701 BWG Kentucky. Look at that rhyme. So I would go here and shop for more items. This might be a TCG Direct. Is it? Oh, no, it's not. So they have a little bit more, and, you know, if they have cards that I need, then I would add it to my cart and pretty much go down the list. I would use my Collector app to see which ones I actually need. So, which I actually do need that one, but I would go through here and basically select all the cards that I needed and try to get as many as possible. And yeah, and of course, you know, you check your card to make sure, you know, like, oh, shoot, I have $200 in my cart, and then you have to reprioritize that way. I generally try to keep all my orders under $100. Recently, I've been trying to keep them under $50. But if you spend enough at one shop, they'll generally ship it pretty nicely, and it'll get to you pretty quickly. But if you order like one card at a time, they'll probably ship it in the cheapest way possible if it's like a cheaper card, and it'll probably take a while to get to you. I'm not going to lie. So keep that in mind as well. Excuse me, a little indigestion from my taco bowl for dinner. So, how do I prioritize sets? All right, so we're in the next part, and the next question is how do I prioritize sets? So basically, just to make it easy prioritization, whatever sets I sought out to collect first, those are the ones that I collect, unless they're just like ridiculous. For example, like Neo Destiny, I might get one card for Neo Destiny a month. Because if I were to try to buy all the Neo Destiny cards right now, I think the remaining that I have, a few Shinings and some Hollows, it'd probably be a few $100. Actually, it'd probably be more than that, maybe like $400, $500, $600, because the Mewtwo alone is going to be quite a hefty price. So I might do one of those a month, and then I will prioritize sets that I'm the closest to completing. For example, Brilliant Stars. I just got an order in today, and I'll probably be showing that off in my next video. But I only need one more card. That card has already been ordered, so Brilliant Stars is pretty much on the verge of completion. Fusion Strike is one that's been up here for a while, but because that Gengar and Espeon just keep going up, there's a part of me that's like, you need to buy it now because it's just going to keep going. But then there's a part of me that's like, I don't want to spend that right now. I want to collect these other sets that I could easily get for that price. So I'm, going back and forth with Fusion Strike, because originally I collected Fusion Strike because the Mew VMAX alternate art was the most expensive card in the set when I pulled it, because it was competitive, yada, yada, yada. And now it's not, and yeah, now I'm just kind of screwed. But I committed. I got a mega binder for it because the set has almost over 500 cards. Ridiculous. And then, I kind of go down Emerging Powers. I'm really close to completing, so that'll probably be the next set that I complete. Rebel Clash, I'm really close, so that one will probably follow Emerging Powers. And then Supreme Victors, that one, all the individual cards are fairly pricey, but it's just a fun one to kind of knock off a few of the pulls. And then all the ones that have question marks, this is kind of a little insight into the mind of MisterStubstep. What is he potentially going to collect in the future? And then these are the ones that I kind of scouted out. So basically I went to all these sets and I looked at all the prices, all the cards. I'm like, wow, this is kind of reasonable. I mean, for example, Emerging Powers, it is from Black and White. I think it's over 10 years old, or maybe right around 10 years old. And the most expensive card is like less than $10. Like, I'm telling you. If you just want an easy old set, Emerging Powers is the way to go. Only 2 full arts, and they some ugly full arts. But yeah, that is how I prioritize sets. As you can see, those are the 3 sets that I've completed this year. And yes, I would like to complete more in the future. So another thing is achieve goals before you add new ones. I'm not actively completing any of these question mark ones. Whenever I complete Brilliant Stars and Emerging Powers, you know what? I might add another set to the mix. I might add Pokemon Go, or I might add... that's all I'll go off right now. But yeah, you just don't keep adding more and more goals before you start completing them. Like, have a threshold, like only 5 goals at a time, only 10 goals at a time. Just have that stuff in mind. That is if you're completing sets. But I mean, this could kind of go to other things too. And then also, you got to decide, do you have any like Grail cards, or like what graded cards you want to pick up? Right now, I'm in the process of trying to collect a full PSA 10 set of all of the Radiant cards. And so once a month, or maybe once or twice a month, or probably like once a paycheck, I'll buy a Radiant PSA 10 because they're all pretty reasonably priced. Once again, are they going to explode in value one day? Probably not. They're easy to grade. They're modern. There's a bunch of them. They're really easy to pull. But I like them, so I'm collecting them. But then there might be a Grail card that just will always jump to the top, but it's like a card that you just never see. Like PSA 10 Curlias, I don't see those very often. PSA 10 Curlias that I still need, I don't see those very often. So when they appear, I drop everything else I'm doing, and I'm like, that is the card that I'm getting. Sorry, Master Sets, you're going to have to wait another month. So also have those. And then if you want to add a little bit of money back to like buying to your collection, you can sell your bulk. You can put listings on eBay. I used to like make partial sets, so there was no duplicates, or I'd make little like not mystery lots. I would just make lots of cards like, hey, this lot has X amount of commons and uncommons, X amount of rares, X amount of ultra rares, stuff like that. And I would do that on eBay. They would move a lot slower. On TCG Player, they move a little bit quicker for me, especially as you watch and read and play more and more. You know which cards are competitive, so you know which cards are going to sell pretty quickly, especially if you listen for a good price. And then you can also sell parts of your collection if, you get that desperate. I haven't really gotten that desperate so far, but every single time I see a price of that PSA 10 Lily that I have, I'm like, man, I could sell this off and complete Neo Destiny, complete Sword and Shield promos. I could do so much with that money. So all things to keep in mind. In conclusion, people say it all the time, but I'm going to say it one more time. Collect what you like. And I'm going to be upfront. A lot of times when you collect what you like, there are other people that feel the same way. I'm telling you, when a lot of us probably saw the Moonbryon, the Umbreon VMAX alternate art from Evolving Skies that everybody talks about, that people say is overhyped, I assure you a lot of people probably saw that and was like, dang, that's a cool looking card. And even though there are thousands of them graded in a 10, the card is still going for a ton of money because so many people want it and it is cool. And I don't blame people for wanting to collect it. I wish I had the card in my collection. I'm not going to buy it, but I wish I had it in my collection. So just collect what you like and collect what's within reason. A lot of times you'll find that certain cards that you like will blow up in price. And, anything that I'm giving here is not financial or investment advice. I'm not a professional. I'm just a humble person trying to build a Pokemon collection just like all of you. So, and then also just do what makes you happy. If Pokemon card collecting isn't making you happy, then just take a break. And then maybe one time you'll see an advertisement for a set like Evolutions or Celebrations, and you'll be like, oh, shoot, let me check out the Pokemon TCG again. You don't have to burn yourself out. If you're just not feeling it, like Paldea Evolved comes around and you're just not feeling it anymore, then you don't have to keep doing it. I mean, don't feel like you're going to miss out. I know there's the fear of missing out, but I mean, I think there might be over 100 Pokemon sets, if not getting close to 100 Pokemon sets. There's so many different things out there. You can just wait for something good to come up, or, just wait for a better time, or just hold on to what you have and just admire what you have. And also, not everything is a competition. I know with social media and YouTube channels and all that stuff, people are always comparing and competing and, oh, I want to beat this person, or my collection's the best. And healthy competition, I think, is always a good thing because it brings the best out of people. But don't compete to where you start having a toxic mindset and, wanting to bring people down or wanting to, step on people in order to get to certain positions. Just, do what makes you happy, collect what you like. And you don't always have to, compare your grass to somebody else's grass, So that is all I have for this video. I rambled a lot. I want to thank you all so much for listening. I wish this was more interactive on the video itself. I'll probably throw up a few pop-ups, but this was mainly me just rambling. I appreciate anyone that has stayed this long. Let me know your thoughts and what your process is down below. If it's similar, if it's the exact opposite of mine, I am all ears. I'm always down to learn and, advance in whatever ways I can. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch y'all in the next one.